Good everybody, thanks for stopping by. You know when you got that feeling that you're excited and you're hopeful, but you're not really optimistic because you've been disappointed a few times before? I'm hoping this video isn't going to be one of those, because basically if you're watching this video now, then let's just say it's been a success. If you weren't watching it now and it wasn't a success, I wouldn't put it up so you wouldn't have seen it. So assuming that you're watching this video, it means it's been good and it's thumbs up, because I'm about to go and grab something that has just turned up from Amazon, and I'm really hoping, I don't know, fingers crossed, touch wood, all that sort of business. I'm really hoping that I found the holy grail as far as induction cookers go. I have several induction cookers now for the purpose of installing in the back of the car, in the back of the Pajero, and I have the kitchen build and I've got plans to upgrade that. I think I can do, look, I'm happy with what it does and it's all functional, but I reckon I can make it look a bit prettier. The one that I've got in the car is just a Breville, whatever it is, up on the screen there, a 2000 watt. Now, similar to other induction cookers that I've seen and tested, basically it's not completely variable, so it's 2000 watt. So if you go down to around about 1000 watt, you'll lower your load on your battery. But once you get under sort of about that 1000 watts or take, it basically works like PWM, it's pulse width modulation, where say you wanted sort of 1000 watts rather than 2000 watts, it will half that duty cycle. So what it'll do, it'll say for run for 30 seconds, turn off for 30 seconds, run for 30 seconds, turn off for 30 seconds. But whilst it's cycling, it's drawing that full 2000 watts. So what you're doing is effectively over a specific period of time, average that out, that will average out to that 1000 watts. Now that 1000 watts is cooking power, and that's the way it's rated. Their output power is rated as it's the cooking power, 2000 or 1000 watts, whatever you've selected. The input power typically is higher than the rated output power or the cooking power. So they might say it's 2000 watts, but it might cost you anything up to 2400 watts to run that 2000 watt induction cooker. What I've been looking to do is reducing the load, or find the most efficient way of cooking in the back of the four-wheel drive, the Pajero. Just literally to lessen the load on the batteries. I'm about to install a second battery, I keep saying this, and it's happening. 2 DIY packs at 280 a piece. So I'm going to have lithium for days and power for days as far as 240 volt side goes. But from a safety perspective, which is part of the reason for adding that additional battery, is I'm going to half the load on each of those battery packs, which means each of the cables, all that sorts of stuff, is going to be halving those loads on the cables, the outputs of the batteries, as far as hot points, all that sort of stuff. It just reduces the risk there. Doesn't need to be done, but I just want to do it, and it's just challenging myself a little bit, seeing if I can find a more efficient system, something that's going to work on the lower wattage. In addition to doubling my capacity, we halve the load on each of those batteries, and I'm looking for items that can work at lower wattages and still be effective in the back of the car. I went out and picked up this little Vengo sizzle hob, which is an 800 watt induction cooktop hob. Now I've used this several times, and unfortunately it also does the PWM thing. So running this at 800 watts, fine, it'll run duty cycle at 800 watts, which is around about 90 amps, give or take, which is considerably less than the near 200 odd amps for the 2000 watt. But again, it doesn't give me the flexibility of being infinitely variable in when I'm trying to cook. So when I'm cooking, I want it to be similar to gas. I might be asking too much here, but we're about to find out. If I turn the setting on low, I want it to sit low and just maintain that heat. If I turn it up, I want it up. I don't want it coming on and off. I'm not so like somebody standing there, turn the gas off, turn the gas on, turn the gas off, turn the gas on. I just don't like the way they work like that. I don't like the way they cook, and others that have used my system have said similar things. They're like, they like that induction cooking thing, it's coming off and on, and the possibility to burn things, stuff like that. I don't like that aspect of it. Let's turn it into an instructional video while we're eating. So, a U-plug, which is also nice compared to this Vengo, which was a UK plug or something, I don't know, whatever. Power the Vengo on, it's going to go straight to level 5, right? Which is 800 watts. And if we have a look over here on the screen, hopefully you can see that. 700 odd watts, 759, 765. So it's going to be happy running on that setting of 5 and running around about 800 watts, which is what anticipated. So the output power, or the cooking power, clearly isn't 800 watts if we're only pulling 760. That's neither here or there. So 5 settings up and down, right? So on our higher setting, which we are now, 770 watts, 800 watts. But if we drop that to level 4 and watch what it does, you'll see it's doing similar to what we're seeing on the tokit, in that 600 watts. Great. Alright, so level 4 operates at 600 watts. Let's drop that down to level 3. And you're thinking, nice, okay, so that's continuing to do what it does. It's lowering the setting, is lowering the wattage that we're pulling out. It's maintaining a fairly constant sort of setting here. Now, it's when you get into these lower settings, that lower half of your settings on your induction cookers, that's when we start to see this sort of thing, right? So we've gone down to level 2. So that, it's turned off. 2 watts. Now watch, back on, 440 watts. Keep watching. Turned off again. Back on. Off again. So what you can see is trying to average out that current rating versus time to give you what you've asked for on the settings on the front. So obviously you can see this seems to be on as much as it's off. So let's just see. I'll give you an example. So on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So let's call that 5 seconds. Averages out. Let's say it's 5 seconds. So it's going 5 on, 5 on, 5 on, 5 off. So over a 10-second period, right, or any multiple of 2 of that on-off time frame, 5 seconds. So what you're actually getting is an average of 200 odd watts, right? So it's going 450, so let's call it 225. So you're averaging over whatever period of time, or the cooking time, approximately 200 watts output, right? And we're on level setting 2. So when we go back up to level setting 3, you'll see here it's maintaining that 450 odd watts, which means that level 2 is around about half of that, 225 watts. So let's just go to level 1. So what we'll see now that we're on level setting 1, the off time will be longer and the on time will be shorter. So it's probably aiming for 100, 150 watts. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Alright, 3 seconds and off. We'll count that again when it comes up. Alright, and off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe about 10 seconds. On for about 3. So it's on for about a third of that 400 and 450 watts. So let's call it 120, maybe 150. So a third of that, 400 watts. So let's call it 130, right? So 130 odd watts averaged out over whatever period of time of cooking. So I hope that makes some sort of sense in your expectations of what you'll likely see from an induction cooktop. So if you go and buy an induction cooktop that's 2000 watts and it's got 10 settings all the way down to 200 watts, for example, and you think, oh well, my battery will support, my inverter is 500 watts, I can go and get one of those and I'll just use it on its lowest setting and it'll be using less than 500 watts and I'll be fine. Doesn't work like that, as I've just shown. So you might get one and it might cycle on, but it might cycle on for at 1000 watts when it's on, even though you've got it set to 500 watts, and it'll only be on for 50% of the time, off for 50% of the time, and that's how you're going to get your average. So if you're building a battery system and you're looking for an induction cooker, you really need to be looking for one that can handle probably the maximum output of that induction cooktop, because it's possible that when it cycles on, it might be using that maximum power. Likely that you will need to have an inverter that will cover, as a minimum, half the rated wattage of the induction cooktop. Again, because what I find is in that upper range, from half to the top full setting, you'll often find that they will adjust the output or adjust the current usage, and that will be pretty stable. Once you get under that 50% setting, that's when it starts to come on and off, and it will be on, and it will be pulling those big current figures whilst it's actually cycling on. I'm hoping this is all making sense. So at the end of the day, if you buy an induction cooktop, don't you think you can run it on a lower setting? Because generally as a rule you can't, unless you find something like this tokit that we're reviewing or looking at today, and that's exactly why I went with it. But trap for young players, or trick for rookies, whatever you want to call it, you really need to, if you're going to go for an induction cooktop and you want to use it with a battery setup or something along those lines, or an inverter that won't support the maximum power, thinking you're just going to turn that setting down, you really need to be checking out the induction cooktop that you're looking at, because it may or may not be the case. And there's no real way to tell other than just looking at other people's reviews on YouTube, for example. And then that's another motivation for finding something that was variable, in that I can, for 800 watts, the Jackery here has output of 1,000 watts, so I can plug this in to the Jackery, throw a pot on it, out in the field, and I'm cooking. Getting to the bloody point, on Amazon, browsing around, why, I don't know, I started looking up induction cookers, or actually one popped up as a deal, and I went, oh, deals, I like deals, let's go and have a look. So, this is the Tokit Induction Cooker Pro. Oh, I can tell you, she's really, really light. Now, I've been happy with the Vengo in that, I better just move that off the top of the Jackery there. I've been happy enough that it does the job, and it's small, and I suppose it's convenient. I find is if I put anything bigger on it, then like a little pot like this one you can see here. Here's all your controls here for your buttons up and down. I find that putting a decent sized saucepan on it covers those controls, and it's just a little bit little. It'd be awesome for this sort of thing, portable, take it down to the beach, cook something up, whatever you need to do. But it wasn't what I was hoping for the back of the four-wheel drive. This Tokit one, never heard of Tokit. It just popped up, like I said, as a sale on Amazon. Looked at a few of the reviews. Now, a few of the people did say that it is variable, and that it doesn't switch off and on like their other ones. And if I open this up and find that it is doing that thing where it is turning off and on, it's going straight back in the box, and it's going straight back to Amazon, because it is not what I'm after. It does appear to be quite well packaged, very well packaged in fact. I don't anticipate this being a full review. This is just going to be showing you what I've got and finding out whether this works or not. And if I'm honest, I'm really expecting it to have to go back. I'm expecting to be disappointed. Really, really thin unit. You can see how thin that is there. Nice looking. It's got something, got a little something right in the middle there. Okay. There's something there that must tell it that there's something on the, whether that's the sensor or something. Okay, the temp sensor. So this does have temp cooking, where you can just set the temp supposedly, and then it will handle the rest. You're just using this dial. You've got a heat setting 1 to 99. If you're using the app, I believe we can pick a temperature, and then it will use this sensor, which I believe is not the most accurate, but we'll test that, and then it will maintain that temp for you. Got fan holes on both sides. It is very thin. It's sort of, laptop or tablet thin. Nice looking unit. So let's just plug it in. And cross our fingers, because I tell you, nice little sound. Oh, okay. It's asking me to enable Wi-Fi. Who would have thunk? So I have to assume that I need to go and get the Tokit app. So I'm literally just going add device here. Okay, it's going to make me register. I hate this shit. Give me 2 seconds. Alright, so we're logged in. We're just going to go add device here. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can have my bloody location. Shits me that. Okay, so it's a royal pain in the ass. You've got to go and do the Tokit application, which is then going to link you to the Xiaomi website app as well, which then you'll need to sign up for. Just follow the prompts. It's a pain in the backside, but it'll get you there, because I believe these are also released as a Xiaomi. I don't know, I'll find that and I'll put it up on the screen. It looked to be identical from the one I've seen. I paid around about $174 I think for this on sale, but if you just do a search, I have seen them about 143 bucks. Looks like there's a few different models, whatever. I think you can get it cheaper than the Amazon, but I'll put the link down for the Amazon if you want to have a squeeze at these. So it looks like it's doing an update or something. Oh, we've got something going on here. So they're saying connecting here to the phone. This is now showing 68%. I'm hoping you can see this. So what it looked like it did was connected, confirmed all the details. Looks like it jumped online maybe and did a download or something. Whoa, connection succeeded. Beautiful. Alright. So that's a long process. Alright. Device modes 1 to 8. I might just say sync device and just see what that does. Update failed. Of course it bloody did. Manual mode. Okay, so that's our what it calls it firepower, which is also adjustable by the dial. So we can set a time. We can set our rating from 1 to 99. From the reviews and reading I've done, it does appear to be that these pre-settings do seem to work alright. For now, I don't care about any of that. I literally just want to go manual mode. Let's put it on 20 because we want to see what sort of power this is going to take out of the Jackery. And look, 1 minute, why not? Alright, start now. Okay, so if I just go and saying press to start here. Alright, and away it goes. So fans, come on. So immediately it's doing something. Hopefully you can see this, 618 watts, 454, 619, 431. Varying somewhat, but it's certainly not off and on and off and on like the others I've seen. Cooking completed. Nice. That was a quick minute though. Let's go 30% or 30 and just go 1 minute again. And then we've still got to touch the button on the cooker to get it going. Nice. And you get a timer on your phone or your device as well, so that's really handy. Alright. 770, 880. So it does certainly appear to be more variable and more consistent than the others that we've seen or that I've seen, and certainly workable with a unit like this. Keeping in mind that we only have it on 30%, whatever 30% of 2100 is, around about 600 watts or something, I'm guessing, of output power cooking, which would explain 730 watts here. They're about something. Oh, 990 watts. Let's just boil this water. Actually, yeah, let's just boil this water. Go manual mode. Let's go. So go up to 4 hours. So let's go 10 minutes. Should be enough to. Can I touch this and type it in? I can. So we've got a slider here, hours over here, minutes over here. So that's a nice addition. So let's just go 10 minutes. Yes. I'm assuming we can do the same here, and we can. So let's go. Let's push our luck with the Jackery, and let's go 35. We are spiking the Jackery. I did see it go to 1160 here, 1122. I think the Jackery is going to handle that momentarily. I have seen through my testing that the Jackery was capable of handling up to the 1100 watts fairly consistently. Once you started going above that 1100 watts, it would only do it temporarily like a spike. And luckily, that's all we're seeing here. So the 1160, 1159, but then straight back to 846. And that looks like that's boiling already. So it's going to take the pot off, assuming it's going to stop. No reason why it shouldn't work. It is still running, so it's taking its time identifying that there's not a pot on there. And it's just shut off. Manual mode and settings. So okay, so it looks like okay, defaulting to whatever we had the app set to. So that's interesting. Now this dial, it's fairly responsive, so you can get up and down the. It's interesting that as soon as you put it on, it starts blowing those fans. So it could be a little bit annoying, but if we go all the way down to heat off, that shuts up. Because it's very quiet, other than the fans. Like there is no other, you know, with some of the other ones, specifically the one in the car, the Breville I've got, you can hear that electromagnetic whine to it, that pulsing, whatever. This doesn't do that. Other than the fan noise, I'm not hearing that whirring or any other noise associated to it, which makes it kind of hard to tell whether it's actually functioning. Possible that this little display here is showing that it's working. Let's just pause it. Okay, and this starts flashing and it shows paused here. We unpause it, this goes red again, and this is now red for the menu. So I'm assuming that while this is red like this, it means we're running. Actually, let's just go to 0, heat off. Okay, and that little light here goes. I'm liking this more and more. The more I find about it, the more I'm liking it. So let's go back to that 35, because the Jackery seems happy with that. So again, it seems to be consistent. Let's just see if we can find out what our lowest setting can be on this, which I assume has to be 1. And we do have a setting of 1. So we are now on 1. The little red light has come on here. The menu is showing red, so it's functioning. And you got to come and have a look at this. Hopefully you can see that. 48 watts, 64 watts. Have seen 110. So our manual mode is just 1 to 99. Pick your flavour, or firepower as they refer to it as. And then just hit go, and it will just run. I'm assuming it has a 4-hour timer limit. Now, if you don't turn the timer on, maybe it has a 4-hour limit, or whether it'll just run indefinitely, I don't know. And I'm not testing that. I'm not gonna. Who cares, realistically? So the question has to be: do I now need to install an old tablet up in the back of that Pajero door there, so I can use that with my Wi-Fi induction cooktop? Some might say no, but at this stage, don't rule it out. Again, I know I don't need it, shits and giggles, and I just like to be different. I like to do something different. I got to tell you, look, I watch an awful lot of YouTube, probably just as much as you guys out there, you know, watching the stuff that I put up. And I got to tell you, one thing that I really, really hate, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of this today, because I haven't tested this out in the field. I hate people pulling things out of boxes and doing a review when they haven't even tested it, haven't used it, whatever. This has kind of turned into a bit of a test, and there'll be more information later on. The only thing that bothers me more is when they review something they don't even have. Go and use it, try it, test it, whatever. Just do something with it. Don't just pull it out of the box and give me a review. I hate that, because I can go and look at a website and read the specs off the side of the box the same as you can. The other thing that bothers me is the same videos. You watch 20 different videos and they're all the same. There's video after video and they're the same. Everybody's doing the same thing. So hopefully you appreciate, I know this is what I try to do, is try to do something a little bit different, you know. Look, I know as much as I'm just doing a solar generator and induction cooktop, whatever, there's a purpose, and hopefully you can see the direction I'm heading in. And even if I did go and put a bloody tablet up on the back of the Pajero, it would be different. It would be something different other than the same mundane, here's a look at my set of drawers in the back of my, here's a look at the set of drawers in the back of my forward drive, here's my fridge slide, here's an upright fridge. Try and look for new stuff, and hopefully it's something you enjoy as well, and hopefully I'm getting it right for you. Anyway, so the good news is, the outstanding news is, and the reason, as I said, the reason you're actually getting to see this video is that this thing is bloody working. $200 worth of induction cooktop. It's hard when you can go to Kmart for $40 and stick one in. Look, depending on what you're doing, I spent this for YouTube because I wanted to try it, and because, you know, I think people would be interested in it, and I want to do something different. If you're not in this boat, don't care, literally, and you've got the battery set up to support it and the inverter or whatever, go and buy yourself a Kmart $40 one, $50 one, the Enco brand or whatever that. Heaps of people have been happy with those, heaps of people, and there's no reason why you probably wouldn't either. The Breville ones that I had, that I got in the car, other than the fact that I've cracked it and smashed it, still working perfectly fine, but I don't like that PWM function. So there is a method to my madness, and there's a reason I'm trying this, in addition to just trying things, just to show something different on YouTube. The other reason I'm really liking this, again, is to be able to combine it with something like this that has a limited output. Sorry, just thoughts running through my head. We're on setting 1. I don't think we're going to boil that water. It's certainly hot, 65 odd degrees. I don't think we're boiling it on that setting, which is good. To be honest, we don't want it to. I want that to be the low setting. So same as if you put your pot on the gas and put it at a low setting, just want it to simmer and just keep things warm. And I can dip my finger in that water. So if I'm cooking something, I want to be able to put it on a low setting and just have it simmer. So for example, I made a pasta or something, or I just want to keep a piece of meat warm, but not continue to cook it. Or certainly put it on a low setting, put a lid on, let it cook that way. I think this is why I wanted one that could do this, and it seems to be doing well. And an example of why I want something with this level of control is when I got the Jackery, and I wanted that to combine that with a little Vengo, and I wanted to test that Vengo out of the portable unit. I took the Vengo away and set it up, went away for a little picnic and set up the little cooktop, and I had my little pot, and I bought some strawberries and I bought some chocolate, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to heat up some chocolate just on the little cooker, and I'm going to dip the strawberries in chocolate. It's going to be a wonderful experience. Unfortunately, because that little Vengo, same thing, full power or higher power, off, on, off, on. It didn't do justice to the chocolate, and it went to shit. It ended up burning the hell out of the chocolate. Still kind of ate some of the chocolate with the strawberries, but that was the experience. So I'm hoping with this tokit one, with that low setting, I can put it on, just heat up that chocolate just nice, and grab my strawberries and just dip them in, and away you go. So I'm going to try that. Maybe have a look at that in a later video, but that's what I've been looking for, and there's a perfect example of why you want an induction cooktop that has this level of control. Anyway, I want to pump this bad boy up and give it the full tits and just see how she runs at 2100 watts. I'll be back. Oh, I need to go and grab a power cord and connect it into the house and run the lead out so I can test this cooktop. Now I'm thinking, no I don't. I've got the 3000 watt Renogy in the back here, and this is all still apart because I'm still putting stuff together. I need to finish wiring up that solar panel, stick the extra charge controller in. But for those of you following the channel, I have finished installing the TJM compressor, which is in the back there, you can see it. I have installed the TJM air tank, that's up on our K-on rack. I have rewired some reversing lights, just Amazon cheapies. That was much simpler than expected, so there's no video coming up with that. I have routed the Anderson plug on the back up to the inner drive, so that's now going to work and control my external solar panels. So we're now running off the Renogy in the back of the Pajero, which is 3000 watts, running off the 280 watt DIY lithium pack. You can actually see the light shine through here. So this is the Breville that's been the workhorse in the back of the Pajero. Size wise, they are pretty much, no, that one's a little bit smaller. This is much thinner. You can see how thin the new tokit is. You can see this is the Breville, but that's just the part sticking up the top. Has all that part hanging down underneath. So considerably thinner. Let's get this party started. I just want to run this on at full power. So our Renogy's on. Powering up. There's our noise. Press and hold to start. Let's go manual mode and just go 99. And we're away. Interesting, this little light here, hopefully you can see that, around here seems to indicate the power setting, so you can see it's right up here where before it was just down here. So, learning as we go. Timer, let's go 5 minutes, it's going to be plenty. Okay, so when these are active, they light up. So you can see that's now running red. You can pause or hit it again. So it's pretty straightforward as far as functionality goes. And this little single button control is awesome. Let's not mess about. Let's see what we're pulling out of this thing. It's interesting. I do currently have a Victron battery charger on the front battery, the starter battery, which means that it's keeping the voltage high, which means it's keeping this Energizer running, which is currently pulling 42 watt amps, which is interesting because we've got a 30 amp charger, so I have to be careful of this because the car's not running. 130 amps over here, and we're boiling already. Okay, that's really quick. So that's really quick. So 130 amps coming out, plus our 40 over here, 160 odd amps. That was really quick. I'm just going to go and grab some more water. I'll be back. Once I found induction cooking, and then I encountered that issue with the PWM setting and not just being a static setting, I was quite disappointed. I've been keeping an eye out for something exactly like this ever since, and I didn't know whether I was chasing a unicorn or whether something like this actually existed, and it would appear that it actually exists. I'm somewhat confused. I'm using a mobile device to control my cooktop in the back of the car. Now, if anything's going to get me a wanker comment, that is going to do it for sure. Look, if you follow the channel, you probably realise at this point, I don't care. I do this for me, and look, I share it for you guys as well. That's part of the fun part of the journey. But I do things to be different, and I like to be different, and it is what it is. Now, there's supposedly a temperature setting, and I want to know how to do that. I might have to look at a manual. So we've got device mode up here. It's kind of like your favorites, I guess, 1 of 8. And you can see down the bottom here, you've got all these different things. So we've got steam, soup, frying an egg, crepes, sous vide. Isn't that like slow cooking, something along those lines? All right, well let's just pick crepes. So you click on it, and then you can drag it up the top. And so literally add favorites, but it is literally just a setting of a timer and a temperature. So what I can also do is if I go in to add custom, and I can select a mode, so I can obviously give it a name, just go test equals, let's just go test, and then I can select a mode. I can either go by firepower rating 1 to 99 or by temperature. So I've got a temperature rating on that slider from 40 up to 220. So let's leave it at 40. And let's go a timer of 5 minutes. And we're going to save that. And that saved it down to the bottom. Clearly I can just press and hold. And then drag that one up. It's not the most responsive of... And then drag it to our favourites. I want to get me some cooler water. And I want to just test to see how close it gets to 40 degrees. Let's go test. I've got duration set for 5 minutes and I've got it set for 40 degrees. I want to see what it shows on the display here. So I'm just going to go OK. And then it says press to start. Ah, nice. Hopefully you can see that display. It says test and heating. I don't know whether it's taken 40 degrees off the bottom of the pan, whether it's trying to get an accurate reading as far as what's in the pan, but we're going to find out. It would be nice now to have a temperature reading on here. It looks like it'll run around about the 1200 watts, 1400 watts based on the current draw. Alright, so that's interesting. So it's turned off. I've had it click and it's cycled off. Not sure if you can see that. We're seeing, and it's just gone to its low setting. 54 degrees, thereabouts. We're still pulling about 70 amps, give or take, but it does seem to be maintaining that 50 odd degrees. It doesn't seem to be getting hot, it doesn't seem to be getting colder. Alright, I've got to go get some cold water, and I need to test this again, because I know what the temp of that water was before we threw it on. I have to assume it's 20 something degrees. It's staying somewhere between sort of 50 and 54 degrees, typically between 52 and 54, and doing a really good job at doing that. So I've got my cold pot Test our water. Just to give you an understanding of what it is. Yeah, okay. Can you see that 25, 23 degrees? I have to be using the app to get into this temp mode, otherwise manual mode is just 1 to 99. This thing is continuing to impress me. The user experience is in playing with it, testing it, and just finding how these things work and stumbling on these little nuggets of gold. Probably just read the manual. Is vastly different, vastly different experience to the process of setting that mongrel up on the application. The experience that I'm having now is showing me that that was worth it, because I just want to bring in and show you something. So my concern was that I wasn't going to be able to now go in and pick that temperature setting and adjust the temperature setting, etc. And I was right, you can't. But when I was just adjusting those favorites and putting those favorites up the top, that 1 to 8, what that's done is if I go into the menu here, you see I've now got 4 buttons here. So rather than just manual mode and then settings, if I use this dial, you can see here's those settings that I put into my favorite. So I can have 8 of these across here. So 8 settings. So for example, there's the test one that I created. Hopefully you can see this in the little screen here. So I put it on test and just hit go, and it's now fired up and it's going to try and get that water to that 40 degrees, which is the setting that I chose. So I can't just pick the desired temperature, so that's a bit of a pain in the freckle. Disappointing. If they were going to make an upgrade, I'd like to see that. I'm probably going to be happy enough with just picking a setting and cooking like your gas, you know, just turn it on and go about half, about a quarter, and away you go. I mean, that's how we've always done it. The water temperature was, what would we say, 25 degrees, 24 degrees, something like that. So just testing it. I did set spike up to around about 60. There it is there. But it's now gone into its lowest setting. So this might be more functional on like a higher temperature, obviously, because we have picked the lowest one. And according to this, it's showing I chose 45 degrees. So that's probably a bit more accurate than I thought it was. I thought we picked 40. But you can see that's now on 60 degrees. That temp has shut off, or the heating has dropped off anyway. And again, I fully expect it to plateau around about that 55 odd degrees. Let's just quickly check in with the induction cooktop and just check our temp. Should be 55 or something, I think. Alright, 50. It's only got a minute to go. But I've got to tell you, 50 is pretty close to 45. And I'm pretty impressed with that. So look, I think that's probably going to be enough. I literally just wanted to pull it out of the bag and see whether it worked the way I wanted to, and do a 5-minute video and just give you a look at this. But it's turned into something more substantial. And look, it's I don't know whether there's anything that I've missed so far. I mean, again, I've only had it for a couple of hours. I've been playing with it and testing it, whatever. So I need to test it out in the wild and take it camping and figure out how to get it mounted in here. You get the gig. I guess a first look at the tokit. What was it calling itself? A Razor Induction Cooktop Pro, something along those lines. Again, I'll put it up on the screen. I'll put a link to Amazon. It will probably be an affiliate link. I don't know. Not really figured that whole side of things out. Referring to it here as the tokit Razor Cooktop. So when you initially turn it on, it's going to say here press and hold to start. So you physically need to press and hold the button down just to activate it. Once you've done that, you then find it'll come up in the application, and then you can play around with it, do whatever you need to do. So I'm going to set up just a couple of basic settings as far as temperature settings and stuff like that, and then add them to my favorites so they're all on here. The good news is you don't need to worry about having a Wi-Fi. Well, I better not worry about having a Wi-Fi connection to home, because I don't want to get this out in the wild and go to use it and have it not function because it doesn't have a bloody Wi-Fi connection. Well, I don't think that's going to be the case. Let's wrap it up as a review. Cons, and we'll get rid of those first. This off-on thing while it's waiting for cookware. I mean, I can pause it and turn that fan off. That's a little bit annoying. The process of setting it up and having to register for accounts, annoying as piss. Especially the fact that I had to register it with Tokit and then go and register it with Xiaomi, whatever the hell it is, just to physically get it set up. It was a little bit painful. Follow the process. If you get one, you'll get there eventually. A little bit annoying. Too annoying for a start-up of a process. You'll be okay. You'll get there. It's going to frustrate the hell out of you for about 10 minutes. You'll get there, and then once you get through that, bloody brilliant. Loving the thing. So the temperature setting is awesome. It seems to be reasonably accurate. Like I said, it seems to heat it up sort of 10-15 degrees above what you've requested, and then seems to bring it down and just maintain it. The one-touch control panel thing, this little dial, bloody brilliant, love it. Lots of information. The fact that it's a little screen, it's showing you what's going on, showing you the cooking mode, showing you the timer, showing on the front display, bloody brilliant. The rest of the display as well, the timer and the menu, and then that little light that goes up and down showing you the temp setting. I really like that. Overall, the control thing, I really like the control thing. It's nice, it works. It's a nice looking unit. It's thin. Whether this is going to hold up like the old Breville has, got cracked and smashed and keeps on trucking, I don't know. It's going to provide its own challenges as far as mounting goes, but that's not to do with the unit. The biggest selling point for me, and if you're looking to put one of these in your forward drive and run it off a battery system, that infinite, 1 to 99 adjustability of the temp setting. The fact that it's not PWM controlled as far as your setting goes, you see that adjustability as far as your current draw on your system. Bloody brilliant. What I've been looking for the whole time. Quiet, other than the fans, not too much of a whir on it. Once we were pumping it up to 2100 watts, there was a bit more of a whir there, but on the lower settings, it's almost silent other than the fans. In fact, if I was purchasing one of these for home, I've got gas, so I love cooking with my gas. I'd be more than happy picking up one of these for home. Just the variability, just the control on an induction cooktop. Again, it's just, maybe it's a price point thing. I imagine the more expensive ones would give you that level of control. Again, this was, I paid I think about $100 for the Breville, but that was when they were all sort of still first coming out. Things have changed, prices have come down, prices have plummeted. No idea on the brand. Xiaomi, whatever it is, had multiple electronics from them and have not had any issues, smart devices, all that sort of stuff. And they're a big Chinese producer. And being that this, I think, is a rebranded one of them, that gives me a bit more confidence. I've got nothing. I've got no reason to complain. I think it's doing everything that I wanted it to do, and then some. The app is functional. It works a little bit slow, but it seems to connect up easy enough. The app works. I would have liked to have the temp control on the front rather than have to go through the app, but again, neither here or there. I'm probably just happy with that setting on the front. Just dial 1 to 99. That's the Tokit Razor Pro induction cooktop, which again, put my hand in my own pocket. But this is just a review, just to share it with you, because I was hopeful and it's proven to be exactly what I wanted. So that's it. Thanks very much for stopping by. Feel free to put in the comments below, am I a wanker having all this sort of crap in the back of the forward drive, glamper, whatever the case may be. Really interested to see what your experience has been with induction cooktops. I've been enjoying them from a new tech type aspect. I love new tech. I think we all like new tech, but just haven't had that flexibility or that variability of the control that I've wanted. And I think this now gives me that. I think this is what I've been missing in this setup. With regards to the previous video and upcoming videos of reviews of different products, I know I got a viewer that sort of said that he didn't sign on for product reviews and stuff like that, and he wants more forward drive stuff. Look, if I'm honest, the forward drive stuff come later. I started just doing reviews on products and fixing things and whatever, because that was what I could do. That was what I knew, and I like going and watching YouTube videos of reviews and stuff like that. I enjoy that, which is why I started doing it. So as much as I like to get forward drive trips done and sharing that sort of stuff, it's not where the channel started. And unfortunately, it's easier for me to do reviews in the backyard and test things out than it is to get away on a forward drive trip. So you've got more of these coming. I do, however, try and keep it in the realm of forward driving and camping, because that's the stuff I'm interested in. So when I do the Jackery generators, and induction cooktops and all that sort of stuff, or somebody reaches out to me and says, are you interested in a product, I look and I try and see whether it's in line with what I'm doing on the channel, and if it's not, I say no. Somebody wanted to send me a smartphone the other day. I said, yeah, thank you, but no. So I will try and keep it in this realm, but ultimately if somebody wants to send me a product that I'm interested in, that I want to get my hands on too, I'm going to get it and I'm going to do a review and I'll share it with you. But it's as much for me and the effort that I put in at this end, to start seeing some of those rewards, if you will. And I'll throw out a review. I'll still be honest, but I'll still do the review if it's something I want to get, because I'm trying to get my hands on an e-bike. I dearly love to try an e-bike, and I might have an avenue for that. At the end of the day, this is part of what I do on the channel, and unfortunately, if you don't like it, don't watch the reviews. Just stick around and watch the forward drive stuff, and I'll try and do as much of that as I can. I've got to work, and I can't be forward driving and camping all the time as much as I'd love to. But point taken, and I will try and mix more of that in as the opportunity presents itself. So thanks very much for stopping by. I'm going to get stuck in this Pajero. In the meantime, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.